In the last lecture, we talked about how business was booming for most of America. There were some people who were left out of this booming business, the unskilled laborers, the independent farmers. And today we're going to talk about sort of the seminal movement of the seminal event in government that caused the collapse of the economic system in the Great Depression. And that was the stock market crash. Kind of starts with Herbert Hoover, another Republican. We just talked about this decade of republicanism, was elected president. And just like the last lecture had mentioned, everything was going gangbusters. Companies were making money and expanding. They were hiring more people, putting more money in people's pockets. If you had bought stock, the price had continued to go up and up and up throughout the 20s. But there were some problems. We'll change the slide. Many employers were doing so incredibly well, making so much money, that they created programs of what today is referred to as welfare capitalism. Capitalism being the ability of markets or businesses to compete against each other, and welfare is when you take care of people. And these were businesses taking care of their employees, doing things they'd never done for their employees before, like giving them raises, regular annual or yearly wages, paying them for vacation. To take a week off, you don't lose money, you continue to earn your salary while you're on vacation. Health plans, which would give you the opportunity to go see a doctor. What was important about health plans was it was preventative health care to keep you healthy rather than health care only given to you when you're sick. Recreation programs like driving clubs, and even English programs for people who just came into the country who were taking jobs. The companies ran programs for adults to learn English. Changing the slide. The stock market works like this. And we've done a couple things in class on this, but let's go over it one more time. You can buy a piece of a company, a share of the company known as a stock. You own that stock. You own that share of the company. To buy these shares, you have to go to the stock market, either the New York Stock Exchange, the largest in the world, or the other big one in the country is the NASDAQ. It's mostly technology stocks, but there are others in and around. You go to the stock market, you buy that share of stock, or you buy 100 shares or 1,000 shares if you can afford it. What you want to happen is you want the company that you've invested in, the company that you have a share of, to grow and to do well. And if the company does grow and do well, the value of your share goes up. You can hold on to that and sell it when it's gone up, or if the company begins to take a nosedive, you might want to get rid of that share. Moving on. But here were the problems that people didn't see, underlying problems in the economy which led to the Great Depression. First off, the wealthy were getting richer and richer and richer, which isn't a problem as long as the poor are also doing well and the middle class was doing well. In this economy, not many poor people were getting out of poverty, and the middle class was stagnant. The only sector of the public that was making money and increasing their wealth regularly was the rich. Oops, sorry again. We will move on. The amount of debt that people were carrying was going up. Lots of people were using new credit with companies to buy items they could not afford and could not pay for. To get that credit was very easy. Today it's a little more difficult to get credit, but they were giving credit very easily to people, and people could not afford to pay that credit back. Things like very expensive cars, radios, new technology that was available like refrigerators. Traveling on planes was available to a very select few people back then. After World War II, it would be much more available to the general public. And, of course, if you were going to travel overseas, you would probably take a boat. Many thought they could get rich quick by buying stock shares, and they did something called buying on the margin, which you pay 10% of the stocks, and you owe 90% of the stocks. The problem is, if the amount of money you paid for that stock goes down, you got to pay the whole amount back at the price that you paid for it, even though the stock's not worth anything anymore. So a lot of people could lose a lot of money.